guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's Jess and I do productivity and lifestyle content. So I just wanted to make a quick video to basically apologise for not posting and give somewhat of a reason as to why I haven't been posting. My last video I did a little bit of a life update / uni update and an evening in my life, but I think I owe it to you guys to explain in a bit more detail what's been going on and why I haven't been posting. So if you guys have watched that video, even if you haven't, I got myself into a bit of a sticky situation with some e-learning to go out onto placement. Essentially, I had done it, but it turns out I had done the wrong section of e-learning, so I was supposed to be going out on placement on the 22nd of February, and the Friday beforehand, Monday the 22nd of January, and I was told the Friday beforehand that I had completed the wrong section of e-learning. And that I was told this is the section that I needed to have done, do it, but you're not allowed to go out onto placement until it's done, until you've emailed it to your lecturers and until I've been told by the compliance team that I can go back out onto placement. So I did that. I spent the weekend doing the correct section of e-learning, which took me all weekend and all of Monday the 22nd of January. So I submitted it on Monday the 22nd of January at about 9 p.m, thinking, okay, hopefully I'll get back onto placement for the end, towards the end of the week. That was my thinking. Was trying to get into contact with different teams, different people, emailing, having meetings, all of that lovely fun stuff for 3 weeks. 3 weeks later, I still hadn't been told that I could go out onto placement. And as far as I was aware that it was done, I was just waiting to be told to go out onto placement. So I was trying to get to the bottom of why I hadn't been told I could go out onto placement. And I was basically told 3 weeks into trying to get this, so basically 3 weeks ago, I was told that because I had handed in the e-learning after the the correct e-learning after the deadline on Monday the 22nd of January, apparently the deadline was at 2 p.m. They didn't tell me there was a deadline at 2 p.m. on Monday the 22nd of January. So as far as I was aware, as long as I had got it in ASAP, because I was told to do it ASAP, I'd be allowed out onto placement. And to not hear anything about going out onto placement for 3 whole weeks, and to be told that I've been intermitted for that work being late, fair enough. I should have asked and inquired about the correct section. That's the bit that's my fault. So I guess because I've done the wrong section, and because apparently I handed it in after the deadline, because I got an extension, I've not been allowed to continue the course until September. And it may be a case that I completely have to restart from the beginning and re-attend all the lectures and learn all the content that I've already learned, and redo the exams that I've done, and redo the essay that I've done, and repass the practical sessions that I've had to do from September through December, redo an online placement, and redo the e-learning. So I've been struggling with the fact that nothing that I've done from September through December seems relevant anymore. So I've been struggling with the fact that all my hard work for those few months will be wiped. All that hard work that I put into the first term of uni no longer counts. And that's the sad bit. And seeing I've made fairly close friends at uni, a few of them at least, and I've got close with my flatmates, and I had to completely move out of student accommodation because I was no longer considered a student, and have to redo everything that I've done. I was struggling with the fact that I've been struggling with a few things. Number one, the fact that I'll be a first year uni student for 2 years. Number two, the fact that everything that I had done during term one was considered now useless and I'll have to restart. Number three, I don't even remember if I've already said about my whole hassle about moving out of the accommodation. But yeah, that's a factor that's played in to how I've been feeling recently. I spent like a solid week unpacking all of my stuff that I'd moved out of my uni room. I've handed in my keys. I've not been living at uni for about 3.5 weeks, like 3 weeks now. Yeah, 3 weeks, nearly a month. And honestly, that's a culture shock because I'm so used to having a single bed at uni and like my own bathroom / ensuite and just doing what I please and just going by my own sort of schedule. Now I have to take into account my family, what they're doing. Like, it's not a bad thing, but I'm not used to that anymore. And the other thing that I'm not really used to is the fact that at uni, I just sat there and watched things whilst I ate and just was in my own sort of space. And now we sit down as a family and have like the same dinner as each other. So I've had a few culture shocks and I'm just trying to figure out what I'm doing. I'm like looking for a job. My student loans have been stopped until September, so I have no financial support coming in at the minute. Obviously, apart from my parents doing the food shop, I have until I get a job, I basically have no money to do things on. So I've been applying for jobs. I've just been having like laying in bed most days, all of that lovely fun stuff. And I just didn't feel like documenting such samey, boring stuff of like me. Like, oh yeah, I'm gonna feel so sorry for myself. That's not my intention of this YouTube page. The intention of my YouTube page is to like promote positivity, promote, like studying and like somewhat of a good mentality. So I just felt like that really wasn't fitting with what I want this YouTube page to be about. So going forward, my YouTube videos will be about, being productive, like having fun. You may see like slightly different videos, but I just didn't want to film anything that had somewhat of a negative connotation about myself, if that makes any sense. Like, the last thing I want is for you guys to feel sorry for me. Like, I don't need people to feel sorry for me. I want to like promote like feeling good about yourself, So we'll be getting back on track. I've had that few weeks of, oh, I feel sorry for myself. Filming about feeling sorry for myself, honestly, and putting it on YouTube. That's such a pick me girl vibe, and that's not the vibe I'm going for with my YouTube channel. So there'll be a lot more videos to come in the future, working on different projects. I'll still be doing my days in my lives, my evenings in my lives, my mornings in my lives. I'll still be doing like Sunday reset routines, all of that stuff that I've sort of been posting about already. But you might see other videos like, oh, working on a few different projects that I haven't had the time to, because I've always been in education, and this is the longest that this will be the longest amount of time that I won't have been in education. And I don't want to be rusty when I go back in September at all. So I'm going to be working on a few different projects, and I want to take you guys along on that, whether the project is, relearning content, relearning stuff that I've like minorly looked at in the past, or whether it's like, there's a few things that have intrigued me, and I'll talk about those in the next clip. So I have found a bunch of things that I used to love doing, or like learning about, and just basically doing. So I thought I would tell you guys a little bit about those things, because that's sort of what I've been doing or plan to do. So when I was doing my first set of A-levels at sixth form, and the only reason I say first set is because in the UK you do your GCSEs, which is like the big set of exams. It's similar to the SATs in America, but more in depth, I want to say. But you sit those exams at the age of 15 or 16 in year 11, as what is known in England. And in England, at least, you have to be somewhat in education until the age of 18, whether it's you go to sixth form and do like A-levels, or you go to college and do A-levels, or you go and do an apprenticeship, because that's still considered learning. It's like hands-on learning. But the way I did it was I did 3 A-levels at sixth form from 2019 to 2021, so from the ages of 16 to 18, and then I went to college and did another college course, which is weighted as another 3 A-levels. So I have 6 of these A-level things. And my first set of 3 A-levels at sixth form, I did psychology, BTEC, health, OCR, performing arts, and I think it was OCR for health and social care. And then I went to college and did a health and social care course, which is weighted as 3 A-levels. So I have 6 A-levels. 4 of them are in health and social care. And I loved my psychology course. And I found the book for it as I was reorganising my room. So I thought, what better way than to throw myself into learning about something that I used to love learning about. And the way this Pearson we basically have like different exam boards, and the way this exam board did the BTEC version of psychology is there's 7 units, but you only learn about 4 of those units. And year 1 you do an exam unit and a coursework unit, and then year 2 you do an exam unit and a coursework unit. And the 2 exam units are the same, and then we got to choose out of 4 other options for our coursework unit for second year. So the compulsory units were Unit 1, Unit 2 and Unit 3, and they were Psychological Approaches and Applications, the exam unit for Year 1, and Conducting Psychological Research, which was the coursework unit for Year 1. And then Health Psychology was the exam unit for Year 2, and those are compulsory. And then as a class we basically got to choose between 4 other units to do as our coursework unit. So we chose Introduction to Psychopathology, which is like mental illness and stuff like that. But we could have chosen Criminal and Forensic Psychology, Promoting Children's Psychological Development, Introduction to Psychopathology, or Applied Sports Psychology. So there's 3 units in this book that I didn't learn about. And honestly, those units look appetising. So one of the projects that I'll be working on is this psychology, just because that always has interested me. So I'll be going through and doing flashcards for the key terms of each unit, and then like making notes on the actual content for each unit. Another thing that has always like interested me is like child abuse cases, and not in the sense that like I would commit child abuse, but in the sense of what went wrong surrounding this child abuse case, and like researching into the different people and the different groups of people that knew about these child abuse cases, and why they didn't liaise with another team and potentially save that child, because that actually has a big part to play in any type of nursing you go into, whether it's child nursing, whether it's adult nursing, mental health nursing, learning disability nursing. Whatever you do in nursing, whether it's working with those groups of people, or whether it's you're a school nurse, or a GP nurse, or a ward nurse, whatever you are, you may encounter something that raises your suspicion about safeguarding. And safeguarding, it's a confusing situation, but in any sort of nursing, whatever you're doing and whoever your target audience for nursing is, if you have a suspicion that that patient that you're looking after is being abused in any way, shape or form, whether it's like physical abuse, like sexual abuse, financial abuse, other types of abuse, you raise that and you make sure that it's followed up. Because the fact that some of these child abuse cases specifically, I've been doing a bit of research into Victoria Climbié and Peter Connolly, also known as Baby P. And the fact that these kids, I know more about Victoria Climbié. The fact that Victoria Climbié was different groups of people knew or like thought that they knew that she might be abused, and just didn't hold their position within society to allow that to continue appalls me. This child was 8.5 when she died, and the NHS had suspicions that she was being abused. Priests of a bunch of different local churches had the suspicion that the priests were under the impression that she was like the devil reincarnated, and she needed an exorcism. Social services knew, the NSPCC knew, and they allowed it to continue to the point where she died. No. That just does not sit right with me. So going into a field where I'll potentially be dealing with a situation like this, it's good to know the warning signs. So it's good to know about the types of abuse and how that might present, and look at prominent cases that have happened and all of that fun stuff. So that will be another thing that I sort of like look more into detail about, and I might actually make more in-depth videos about some of these cases and raising awareness of different types of abuse. That's a good idea for like some sit-down videos. Obviously I'm going back to completely restart my uni course, so I'll be dedicating time to rewriting some of the lecture notes that I've already written up, and finishing writing up the lecture notes in entirety, so that I can dedicate more time when I go back to university to revision and making sure that I'm more on top of everything. The least I can do is start writing some of these lecture notes, so I can actively pay more attention, and if like the lecturer says something important about the endocrine system, I can take notes about what she says rather than what's on a PowerPoint slide that I can access at any given time. And asking more questions, doing revision, more time like working on an essay, and there's a bunch of stuff that I can do for university, but for this minute in time, all of that side is on the back burner. But that's another thing that I can be dedicating time to. I also enjoy knitting, and I've actually agreed to make one of my friends knit her a scarf. So that's something I'm going to be dedicating some time to. Obviously applying for a job, applying for a bunch of jobs and hopefully getting one relatively soon. Colouring, all of that lovely stuff that keeps me, all of these things will keep me from going insane, is what I'm trying to say. But anyway, guys, that's sort of where my head's at. So I just wanted to make like this whole video to explain what's going on, where have I been, what have I been doing. It's March. I haven't posted a bullet journal set up for this month, and honestly I'm not going to do one for this month just because I haven't been following February's at all. So we'll be back on the whole bullet journal and setting up April's and being like more on it with the to-do lists, journaling and reflecting. But that's it for this video. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you guys in another video.